Welcome to Interview Mock Lab Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're tackling a question that seems, well, maybe a bit casual on the surface. What are your hobbies and interests?
It does feel lighter, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's actually pretty important. This isn't just about filling time. For you listening, it's really a chance to show who you are beyond the resume, highlight some skills.
Definitely.
So we're going to explore how you can craft really compelling answers, answers that show your value to a potential employer. We'll be drawing on some expert advice about picking the right hobbies, finding those transferable skills, and connecting it all back to your career goals.
That's right. And, it's worth understanding why interviewers even ask this. It often feels like just, let's get to know you. But there's more strategy involved.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, they're trying to get a sense of you as a whole person, not just your work history. It helps them see how you might fit into the team, the company culture.
Okay, the cultural fit aspect makes sense.
And crucially, they're also probing for those transferable skills, things you've learned or practiced in your own time that could actually be really useful at work.
Right, so it's more than just finding out if you, I don't know, collect stamps or climb mountains. They're looking for clues about positive traits, things that make you a good employee.
Exactly. Which brings us to a key point.
Yeah.
You need to be strategic about which hobbies you actually mention.
You wouldn't just list everything you do in your spare time then.
Oh, definitely not. You might have tons of interests, but the idea is to pick one or two that let you draw a clear line back to the job you want.
Okay.
Think about which activities really demonstrate skills or qualities the employer is looking for. Like travel can suggest you're adaptable, maybe good at problem solving.
Right.
Volunteering often shows commitment, that you care about community. Team sports, that points to collaboration, maybe leadership.
Creative stuff.
Yeah, creative arts might hint at innovation, attention to detail. Even things like, say, cooking or gardening can show planning skills, patience.
It's about being selective, picking the ones with a clear connection. It's not just saying the hobby, but thinking, what does this say about me professionally?
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's that intentionality. Like if you play strategy board games, you wouldn't just say, I play games. You might highlight the critical thinking involved, the planning.
Makes sense. So once you've picked a relevant hobby or two, what's next? How do you leverage it?
The next step is to really pinpoint the skills and qualities that hobby helped you build. You need to kind of break down what you actually do in that hobby. What does it require from you?
Okay.
So using your board game example, again, that could be strategic thinking, yes, but maybe also negotiation if you play with others, or adapting your strategy on the fly.
Right. Or if you're, say, a marathon runner.
Perfect example. That shows discipline, right? Perseverance, setting long-term goals and sticking to them.
So you're explicitly drawing the connection for the interviewer. You're not making them guess how your what-end hobby translates into workplace value.
Exactly. You spell it out. And that leads right into the next crucial step, connecting it all to the specific job and the specific company.
Ah, the tailoring part.
Yes. This means doing a bit of homework. Look closely at that job description again. What skills, what traits are they really emphasizing?
Okay.
Then dig into the company itself. Check out their website, the About Us page, their mission, their values. What do they seem to care about? Maybe look at recent news or their social media.
So let's say the job really stresses teamwork, and maybe you do community theater.
Perfect. You highlight the collaboration, the communication needed to put on a show.
Or if the company's big on, I don't know, sustainability and you're into gardening.
You can mention that. It shows a shared value. Your hobbies can be concrete proof. You align with their culture or even have a passion relevant to their industry.
Like if you're applying for a food company and you love baking complex things.
Exactly. It shows genuine interest, maybe even initiative.
Okay, this is all great context. We've picked the hobby, found the skills, linked it to the company. Now, the practical bit. How do you actually say this in the interview? How do you structure the answer?
Good question. The best way is usually to start simple. Name one or two relevant hobbies. Keep it concise at first.
Okay.
Then, and this is really the most important part, explicitly link that hobby to skills, qualities, or values that matter for the job. Don't be vague.
So not just, I enjoy hiking.
Right. More like, one of my main interests is hiking. It's actually really improved my problem-solving skills because you often have to navigate tricky trails or, deal with unexpected weather.
Much better. What else?
Then try to weave in that connection to the company, even briefly. Mention how a value demonstrated by your hobby, like maybe that problem-solving from hiking, aligns with something you know about them or the role.
Maybe something from their mission statement or a recent project.
Yeah, exactly. And to really make it stick, consider adding a quick example, a mini story almost.
Ah, like the STAR method, but short.
Kind of, yeah. Briefly describe a situation from your hobby, the task involved, the action you took, and maybe the result. It just makes the skill feel more real, more concrete.
Okay, so instead of just saying your book club improved your facilitation skills.
You could say, we were struggling to pick the next book situation, and my goal was to guide the discussion task. I made sure everyone got a chance to pitch their idea, and we discussed the pros and cons, action, and we ended up choosing a book everyone was genuinely excited about. Result. Just a quick illustration.
That's really effective. Anything else for the structure?
One final touch could be to end with a question that links back to the company culture. Something related to your hobby, if possible.
How so?
Well, if you talked about running, you might ask if they have employee wellness programs or maybe participate in local charity runs. It shows you're engaged and thinking about fitting in.
That's a smart way to end it. Shows real interest.
Okay, this framework is helpful, but maybe some concrete examples would really drive it home. You mentioned you had a few. Let's start with volunteering. Sure. So imagine someone saying this. Outside of work, I volunteer regularly at our local animal shelter. Actually, last weekend, I helped organize all the new adoption applications and spent time counseling potential adopters to make sure we found good matches for the animals' personalities. That takes pretty good organization, empathy, and clear communication. It feels great to contribute to the community that way. I know your company highlights social responsibility. Are there ways employees can get involved in outreach programs here?
Wow, okay, that hits all the points. Names the activity, clearly states the skills organization, communication connects it to a value like community involvement, and ends with that great question. Very strong.
Right. It shows it doesn't just tell.
Totally. What about a sports example? Maybe being on a team.
Okay, how about this? For the last few years, I've played on a local soccer team, and I'm actually the team captain now. Part of my role is organizing practices, figuring out game strategies, and honestly, keeping morale up, especially if we lose. It's really sharpened my leadership and communication skills, and definitely my ability to work within a team. I think those skills are vital pretty much anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on your company's LinkedIn you had a big company sports day recently. Is teamwork a big part of the culture here, day to day?
Again, really good. Leadership, communication, teamwork, all clearly linked to the captaincy, and connects directly to something they saw about the company, ending with that relevant question. Nice.
Exactly. It shows you've done your research and you're thinking about how you'd fit.
Okay, one more. You had one about travel. That seems common, but maybe harder to link professionally.
It can be done well, someone might say. I absolutely love to travel and experience new cultures when I can. On my last trip to Southeast Asia, my connecting flight got canceled last minute. I had to quickly rebook things, contact my hotel, arrange new transport, all while juggling time differences. It really tested my adaptability and my problem-solving skills under pressure. It also reinforced how important planning is, anticipating issues, having backup plans. I find that kind of logistical thinking is pretty similar to managing complex projects. I know this role involves handling multiple deadlines. How does the team typically approach project planning and managing unexpected changes?
Okay, I see how that works. Adaptability, problem solving, planning, all demonstrated through a specific travel anecdote, and then connecting those skills directly back to the job requirements. Very smart.
Yeah, it turns a common hobby into specific evidence of valuable professional skills.
These examples really show how you can take something personal and make it professionally relevant. It's not about bragging, it's about strategically highlighting your strengths.
That's the key takeaway. It's not about having the most impressive or unusual hobbies. It's about choosing thoughtfully and clearly, explaining how that hobby demonstrates skills or values that align with the job and the company.
Right. So let's quickly recap for everyone listening. First, pick your hobbies strategically, find the ones with clear links to the job.
Then, identify those transferable skills you've gained. Don't be shy about naming them.
And make that connection explicit. Link your interests and skills to the specific job description and the company's culture or values. Do your research there.
Definitely. And structure your answer well. State the hobby, highlight the skills, relate it to the company, use a brief example if you can, that star snippet idea.
And maybe end with a thoughtful question about the company culture related to your interest.
Exactly. If you prepare for this question properly, it can really boost your interview performance. It gives them a much fuller picture of who you are.
It's a real opportunity, not just a throwaway question.
For sure.
So, as you think about your own hobbies, Really consider which ones genuinely showcase valuable professional skills, and how can you articulate that connection clearly and effectively.
That's the challenge to take away.
Thank you so much for breaking that down for us, and thank you all for listening to Interview Mock Lab podcast.
Thank you.
Remember to like and subscribe to the Interview Mock Lab YouTube channel.